Quinnipiac men's and women's ice hockey got the season started this past weekend. How did the nationally ranked hockey programs fare?
Women's soccer hosted Monmouth in a matchup of the preseason. Top two teams in what was widely considered a MAC championship preview. Who came away victorious?
And Quinnipiac field hockey hosted Big East opponent Villanova at home. Could the Bobcats remain undefeated in conference play? We'll let you know. Sports Paws is on the air.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Paws. I'm Katie O'Keefe.
And I'm MJ Baird. Katie, we have a jam-packed show tonight, so let's get started. We start tonight with game action from Quinnipiac versus Villanova in Big East field hockey. Becca Mann and company upset Liberty last week. Could the Bobcats beat the Wildcats, improve to 3-0, and tie their conference win total from all of last year in just the first 3 games? Let's check out the tape. Some Big East field hockey action here, right here on the brand new Quinnipiac Turf Complex. Quinnipiac and Villanova, the Bobcats looking to stay undefeated in the Big East. Meanwhile, the Wildcats looking for their first conference win. The penalty corner for Villanova, Abby Siana with the shot. This one finds the back of the net. Let's take a second angle look at this one. Siana past the outstretched arms of Livy Golini. That gives the Wildcats a 1-0 lead. Quinnipiac, though, with a penalty corner of their own later in the first half. It's Elisa Ruiz-Martinez. Her first shot is blocked, but good second effort to follow the shot. Puts that one in top shelf. This game is tied at 1. And just a little bit later, Quinnipiac appears to take the lead on this shot here from Marissa Larkin. But check out the top right of your screen. The referee calls that one off. We have a replay here, and check out this freeze frame. This is Dana Barlow arguing her case, but check out this freeze frame here. This shot clearly coming from outside the semicircle, and that ball was not tipped. So that is no goal in field hockey. Moments later for Villanova, the tides have turned. Lydia Sindor shoots from close range. Golini can't get to it. That's 2-1 Villanova. And all that happened in the first half, so definitely a wild first half in this game. We'll take you to the last 2 minutes, though. Neither team able to get much going. Lauren Belsky on the penalty corner. This one trickles just wide eventually. Villanova is going to hold on to win this game 2-1. They get their first conference win of the year. Here's Becca Main after the game.
You know, the first half we did not come out ready for that intensity. It's just like any conference game. There's an added intensity, and Villanova brought it. They brought a unified effort. They brought intensity. They stepped to the balls and beat us to balls. So I think it's almost like we forgot we're in conference play and this was just a game.
2 days after its win on Friday, Quinnipiac field hockey traveled to Pennsylvania to take on Bucknell. The Bobcats struck first in the game as Michelle Federico scored just over 4 minutes in. The goal was Federico's third of the season. Bucknell stormed back after giving up the early goal, netting 4 unanswered goals of their own to go up by 3. Federico scored her second goal of the game late in the second half, her team leading fourth of the year, but it was too little too late for the Bobcats as they lost the game 4-2. Quinnipiac's overall record falls to 3-9 following the loss. Its next game is Friday against Providence. And now here with us in the Piazza is Q30's own Nick Catalgi interviewing field hockey goalie Livy Ganoli.
Thanks, Katie and MJ. I'm sitting here with Livy Golini. Livy, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You were recently named a captain. How does that feel being only a sophomore?
It's definitely, nothing short of an honor. I love everyone on the team, so it's just a huge, responsibility to represent them. And I'm happy that the coaching staff and Dana and Michelle, the other 2 captains, could see that I could do that well. And I'm also really just excited to work with Dana and Michelle for the rest of the season, and I can't wait to see what the 3 of us can do.
With the loss of Villanova on Friday, you guys are now sitting at 2-1. What does that mean going forward?
It doesn't change our game plan at all. Coming from the start of the season, we wanted to win every single game, and we know that we're a competitor in every single game that we play in the Big East. So that 2-1, that was definitely a loss. It didn't feel good, but we know coming in on Friday against Providence that we want to be a competitor, we want to win. So that doesn't change our mindset. We're going to attack hard the next couple weeks.
Yeah, speaking of Providence, you guys play them on Friday, who you guys lost to 2-1 in overtime. Mm-hmm. What do you guys have to do on Friday in order to win?
We got to play our style. You know, we got to come out attacking hard and, you know, put them on their heels from the start. Just like we did on Liberty, we controlled the ball the entire game, and that led us to a win, which was a huge program win for us, and we were super excited. So if we just come with that energy on Providence, and we know that we were a competitor in the game last year for Providence, so that should not change at all this year.
Usually teams need 4 wins to qualify for the Big East tournament, but last year Temple only needed 3 to qualify for the tournament. How confident are you guys in getting that 2 wins to qualify for the Big East tournament?
We're a confident team this year. We have a lot of skill, so that doesn't deter us from the Big East tournament. The tournament is in our eyesight this year, and we want to be there. And we're going to be confident, and we have to be confident to be a D1 competitor. You know, we have to do what we know and strut our stuff on the field. So we're going to come out hard the next couple weeks, and we're going to show Providence and ODU and Temple what we have. And you know, we're here to fight, and we want to win. So they better be scared.
Thanks, Livy.
Thank you.
We're going to send it back to studio with Katie and MJ.
Thanks, Nick. Up next, women's rugby. The team had a big win on the road at American International College this Saturday. Senior Jessica Marachi became Quinnipiac's all-time leading tackler on the first play of the match. The Bobcats led by 10 points at the end of the first half. A 60-yard run from senior Leona Mar highlighted the first half of action. Seniors Taylor Slusher and Flora Poole each had 3 tries in the second half as Quinnipiac pulled away for the win. The final score was 60-22.
Rugby has not lost a game, Katie, since that loss to Dartmouth, and they do have Central Washington coming up next weekend, so we'll have to see how they fare. Certainly a big game for them. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, could Quinnipiac volleyball solidify themselves among the best in the MAC?
Plus, Q30 analysis, Quinnipiac women's soccer will win the MAC this year. Stick around, Sports Paws rolls on.
Whether you're on the quad,
in your room,
or heading to class,
tune in to Q30 News.
For stories by student journalists you can trust.
we are covering the latest here on campus and in surrounding areas.
Get the news you need to know every Wednesday night.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning After. Coming up on #that, we talk about some fun events around Quinnipiac's campus.
And we talk about some weird news that's been discussed around Twitter.
All that and more, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
A quick message from our sponsors. Sports Paws is brought to you by Custom Cakes by Steve. If you can dream it, we can bake it. Custom Cakes by Steve. Check them out on Dixwell Avenue in Hamden. Thanks for sticking with us here on Sports Paws.
Women's soccer took a quick trip down to Fairfield to play the Stags on Wednesday. Let's have a look at the action. All right, so women's soccer versus Fairfield. Quinnipiac now coming off a 1-1 tie from Marist earlier in the week. And we'll take you right now to the first half. We get some nice passes around from the field. We got Allie Grunstein passes it to Al Pieter and then gives it to Kelsey Goldring, and she's going to put it in for a nice first goal. Bobcats are now up with the only goal of the game. 3 minutes later, the Bobcats are going to strike again, and this time Goldring steals the ball from Fairfield player.
Yeah, check out
She
this
runs it
steal
up.
here from Goldring. This is nice.
Yeah,
A little bit of a turnover, but she just takes it and goes.
yep, takes it right back around and makes another goal. This continues Quinnipiac's lead, now 2-0. And
Grunstein with the left. Nice shot.
just got right past Fairfield. And for the remainder of the game, there are no more scores by either of the team. Bobcats shut out the Stags 2-0. Kelsey Goldring is also second in the team with points of 17.
And right now, Quinnipiac versus Monmouth. This game was last Saturday. Quinnipiac 3-0-1 coming in, Monmouth 3-0. So definitely a battle of the two top teams in the MAC here. Check out this save, not by Olivia Myszewski, but Emma Greco, the defender for the Bobcats, keeps that one out of the back of the net. Monmouth leading 1-0 at this point, but make it 2-0. Rochelle Ross finishes that one top left corner. Nice play by her. Monmouth up 2-0 at this point. Moving on to the second half now, Quinnipiac trying to break through Monmouth's defense, but good save there by Monmouth goaltender Amanda Knob to clear that one out. And this game got physical as the second half went on, Katie. Yellow card there to Madison Borowick. Quinnipiac's bench actually got a yellow card of their own, 1 of 4 to the Bobcats there. And final minutes of the game, Olivia Myszewski makes some big saves, so this game could have very easily have been 4-0, but it does end 2-0. Monmouth wins. Here's Nadia Gill and Just Gargan following the game.
I mean, I would say so.
A new rival?
Yeah, a new rivalry, like with Monmouth.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, our freshman year, we beat them, but
We didn't, like, as freshmen,
I
we
mean,
were both
yeah.
freshmen, but we didn't know what it meant to beat
And
Monmouth freshman year, but now,
we
I don't
both
know,
scored. But it was like, I mean, it was great to win, but I never felt like a rivalry. And then
now
next
it's
year,
there.
yeah, like
It's
this year
there.
came around, last year came around, and we realized that like it was us and them. So I think as we've progressed in the league and got to be one of the top 2 teams in the last 2 years, it's definitely a big rivalry. Yeah.
Quinnipiac redshirt freshman Kelsey Goldring picked up MAC Rookie of the Week honors this week. Goldring posted a 3-point outing against Fairfield on Wednesday. Her goal just 30 seconds into the game ended up as the eventual game winner. The redshirt freshman is second in MAC with 17 points, second in goals and first game winning goals with 3. She becomes the first 2-time MAC Rookie of the Week this season.
Quinnipiac women's soccer experienced some scoring troubles at home against Monmouth, as you just saw on Saturday. We'd like to now welcome onto the set Q30's women's soccer beat reporter, Sierra Goodwill. Sierra, you've been around this team all season now, so what do you point to as a reason for Quinnipiac's lack of scoring this weekend?
They simply got outplayed, MJ. They put no pressure on offensively. They got outscored 18-5. Only 3 of those 5 shots from Quinnipiac were on target. And Nadia Gill, obviously the key offensive threat for this Quinnipiac team, only had 1 shot on goal. She was being smothered by the Monmouth defense, and there wasn't anyone to step up in her place. They haven't found that person that can find the back of the net when she's being smothered, and a good team like Monmouth is going to shut down your best player, so you have to have a backup game plan. And also, you heard Jess Gargan and Nadia say it after the game, this was a playoff type of feeling going into this game, and Monmouth just handled the pressure better. Quinnipiac let that nervous energy get to them. Obviously, these were the last 2 teams standing last year. The intensity was high, and Quinnipiac didn't handle it well.
Sierra, should the Bobcats be concerned about this loss to Monmouth?
You know, Katie, I don't think they should be too concerned. Monmouth is the #1 team in the MAC. Quinnipiac's #2. Statistically, what was supposed to happen happened. Monmouth is the better team right now, and Quinnipiac didn't get blown out, so there's not too much to be concerned about. Both those goals came in the first half. They played them pretty evenly in that second half, and Quinnipiac has had slow starts all season long. They've had to play from behind. 3 of their 6 wins have been come from behind wins. So I do think that Quinnipiac has struggled with starting strong, and against a good team like Monmouth, the best team in the conference, it's really hard to come back from that. So I don't think they should be too concerned as of now. Fix up those problems with the slow start, and they'll be back on track.
Sierra, as you said, come from behind wins, certainly not necessarily something to knock when your team can come from behind like that. But next up for Quinnipiac is Ryder. So do you think Quinnipiac can rebound against Ryder on Wednesday?
Absolutely. Ryder is a middle-of-the-pack team in the MAC right now, 2-2-1 in conference. But something interesting is the Bobcats have had troubles with the Bronx. They haven't beaten them since 2013, so obviously there's something about this team that is a little bit concerning for Quinnipiac. But they have proven to be so resilient all season long. 4 overtime games, 3 of them they've won. So clearly their mental toughness is at an all-time high. They have the physical stamina to rebound from a loss like this one to Monmouth.
So now, moving forward, what do the Bobcats need to change if they want to make a deep MAC postseason run?
They need to be more disciplined. MJ, you said it when the highlight was rolling. 4 yellow cards in that second half. That's just frustration. They weren't able to channel that nervous energy into something positive. They slipped away from their game plan and let it get the best of them. They can't let that emotion and the gravity of the situation get the best of them. They need a better start. Both of Monmouth's goals, as I said, came in the first half. And when playing a team like Monmouth, that's just really hard to come back from.
Sierra, one more question before you let us go. I want a one-word answer. Will Quinnipiac women's soccer win the MAC this year?
MJ, it's hard to tell right now, but as things stay the way they are, I'm going to say they fall in the MAC championship again, rematch of last year, and I'm going to go with no.
That MAC playoffs and championship game will be held down in Disney at ESPN's Worldwide of Sports. Sierra, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Chris Saplinski and his women's volleyball team took on Siena, Niagara, and Canisius this week. Siena came to Hampton on Wednesday. So, Katie, let's take a look at how the Bobcats fared.
All right, and now we got women's volleyball home versus Siena for the third time last week. Quinnipiac is now 3-1 in the MAC coming in, and we'll take you right to the first set. Quinnipiac starts off with a 3-7 lead, and we get a nice setup from the libero, toss it back right to Natalie Aleko. She puts it down for a kill. Quinnipiac is now in an 8-4 lead, and we get another setup right to the back though, and Kat Miller puts it away, and we get a serve from Siena. Pansari sets it up and Miller with another kill. Second set, Quinnipiac now clinging on to an 8-7 lead. Aleko takes a kill and puts it right over the net. We now get another ball coming in. Freshman Michelle Cuervo actually puts it down, making her mark on the game. Third set, Quinnipiac is up 12-7, and Olivia Cruz puts away 2 kills right there, actually.
Not 1, but 2.
Quinnipiac wins the game 25-16 in 3 straight sets. We are now 4-1 in the MAC.
Over the weekend, the Quinnipiac women's volleyball team traveled to Niagara. The Bobcats fell to the Purple Eagles on Saturday night in straight sets. Quinnipiac was without 3 of their 4 best hitters, Elizabeth Kloos, Jen Coffey, and Kat Miller. Sophomore outside hitter Natalie Aleko did her best to give the Bobcats a chance as she led the game with 15 kills. The Bobcats kept it closest in the third set, leading 18-15 at one point, but ultimately dropped the set by a final score of 25-22.
More MAC play for the volleyball team this Sunday afternoon. Quinnipiac played a very close game against Siena. The Bobcats had previously been 0-5 in 5-set matches this season, but won their first 5-set match on Sunday. The Bobcats were still playing without Kloos, Coffey, and Miller, but again, outside hitter Natalie Aleko led the team in kills, shattering her previous career high of 18 kills in a match with 25. The Bobcats were down 2-1, but fought their way back, winning 2 straight sets to win the match.
One Quinnipiac athlete prides herself on writing. Which Bobcat has aspirations to get published? Stick around and find out after the break.
Plus, women's ice hockey opened its regular season this weekend up in Orano, Maine. How did the number 9 ranked Bobcats fare against the Black Bears? Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Coming up on #that, we talk about some fun events around Quinnipiac's campus.
And we talk about some weird news that's been discussed around Twitter.
All that and more, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Whether you're on the quad,
In your room.
Or heading to class.
tune in to Q30 News.
For stories by student journalists you can trust.
We are covering the latest here on campus and in surrounding areas.
Get the news you need to know every Wednesday night.
Bobcat Breakdown presented by the Quinnipiac Bobcats Sports Network.
We are your source for debate.
Did they make the playoffs last year, Tom Jenkins?
When it clicks, it clicks.
We dissect Quinnipiac athletics on a scale you've never seen before.
With Tobia, it almost looks like she's reaching a little bit.
Plus, we're bringing the biggest names surrounding college sports.
We are live here at the Times Union Center with Jay Billis.
And of course, some comedy.
But you can only have so much arena food.
I think you're crazy.
Bobcat Breakdown. Tuesdays at 9:30.
Sports Paws is brought to you by Custom Cakes by Steve. If you can dream it, we can bake it. Welcome back to Sports Paws. Quinnipiac men's soccer hosted the Fairfield Stags last Wednesday. Let's see some of the action. All right, so men's soccer versus Fairfield. Quinnipiac here now in their first MAC matchup of the year after their 1-0 loss to number 14 New Hampshire. First half here, we're scoreless for the first 10 minutes, but then Fairfield shoots and scores right there.
That was actually a save. Katie, we jumped ahead a little bit. Nice save by Yakovitis there.
Nice save. So now
it's Eamon Whalen in the box. He loses the ball, gets kicked away, but right now the Bobcats still 0-0 with Fairfield.
Ben Wignall with a beautiful no flick to the path from Don Jr. Bogue scores his 5th goal of the season now. And Simon Hillinger crossed to Rashawn Dawley, who was denied by a great save from Fairfield.
Wow, that one should have been in.
Here we go to the second half. Fairfield skips right there into the box, but Fairfield shoots right over the net. But Fairfield is still up 1-0.
That's a laser, just north of Yakovitis.
And now all the way under 2 minutes, Rashad Dawley chases down a loose ball, but just can't get to it in time. Fairfield here is still hanging on 1-0.
Close game as we come down the stretch, Katie.
That corner now a throw in. Eamon Whelan gets the shot off the chest and he tries to go for the score, but just deflected by Fairfield's goalie. Time expires, Fairfield clears, and Fairfield wins 1-0.
That's football. That's football. Some games you'll be the better team. Some games, and as you've seen this season, lots of times, I wouldn't say for full games, but certainly for many halves this season, we've totally outplayed the team, but just couldn't get the result.
Following the loss to Fairfield, Eric DaCosta and company trekked up to Buffalo, New York to take on Niagara on Saturday in search of their first conference win. The Bobcats relied on their upperclassmen for production. Senior Max Rothenbuecher tallied the game's first goal in the 10th minute to give the Bobcats a lead. Redshirt senior and team captain James Doig notched his first goal of the season 17 minutes later to put the Bobcats up by 2, and, well, they never looked back. Quinnipiac held off Niagara for the final 70 minutes to earn its first MAC win of the season.
Transitioning from the pitch to the ice now, women's ice hockey earned its first win of the season against Maine on Friday. With 29 face-off wins, the Bobcats had the advantage and certainly took control in the second period. Abby Clearly and Randy Mercon each netted their first goals of the season. Abby Ives made 16 saves in her first regular season outing of the season. The victory for Quinnipiac in its 11th straight win over the University of Maine.
Well, Katie, 11 straight over UMaine. Well, they put that record right back on the line on Saturday night as the Bobcats took on Maine in the second game of this 2-game series. Let's see how they did here. Quinnipiac, as you just said, had won 2-1 the day before. Can they make it 12 straight against UMaine? We'll see. Well, right to the third period, Quinnipiac trailing 3-2. Abby Ives with the save there. Ives definitely the go-to goaltender for Cass Turner this year in the women's hockey team, trying to fill the void of Sydney Rossman, who graduated last year. Nice save there from the UMaine goaltender, and Katie Taven puts a shot from the blue line, tries to get something going for the Bobcats. Cannot. Another save there from Lundblad. It's still 3-2 Maine, and, well, Cass Turner pulls Ives for the extra attacker, and, well, it doesn't work out for the Bobcats this time. 4-2 the final. Maine wins this game. First loss of the year for Quinnipiac. This week's women's USCHO.com poll came out today, and Quinnipiac dropped from its number 9 ranking last week. The Bobcats fell outside the top 10 this week, but did earn 4 votes, as you can see on your screen right now. Wisconsin at number 1, Clarkson, Boston College, Minnesota, and Minnesota Duluth round out the top 5.
Switching now from women's to men's hockey, Rand Peckald and company took on the St. Mary's Huskies on Sunday in an exhibition matchup. It was the first game in action for the Bobcats this year. Let's see how they played. All right, we'll start off looking at QU pregame here, Quinnipiac versus St. Mary's Ice Hockey. First scrimmage of the year, so definitely exciting. Sunday, October 1st. We'll take you right to the second period. There's a great pass, and it gets right through Quinnipiac's defensive player. Gets a shot, so now St. Mary's holds the lead 1-0. QU responds though later in the match, and we get a nice goal right there, right past their goalie. And St. Mary's has a nice save here after trying to make an attempt to get in the goal. Third period now, St. Mary's quickly takes the lead in the third and makes a nice shot. St. Mary's takes the lead now 2-1. Player 19, Tanner McCaster, fits the puck right past St. Mary's goalie here. QU now ties it up 2-2.
How does this puck not go in the net, Katie?
I
Great
don't
save
know.
there from St. Mary's.
So close. And later on in the third, about a minute after QU ties it up, number 27, Kevin McKernan, puts it away. QU takes the lead 3-2, and that is the end of the exhibition.
Katie, thank you so much. In addition to the hockey season starting, as is basketball. Quinnipiac men's basketball team had its first practice of the year today. New faces, new coaches galore, but the energy and intensity was there from day one. Here's head coach Baker Dunleavy and some of his players as they left Lender Court for the first time today.
Our guys did a good job, and you know, it's you got to keep your mind on the fact that you don't play for over another month. But so we got to pace ourselves a little bit. But I thought the mental piece of it today was really good. Guys were concentrating, and you know, and really the challenge now is everybody's amped up day one. It's like, can you keep that energy going forward?
You know, I was just thinking today, you know, it's my first practice. You know, it's been 4 years. You know, I'm excited to get back. We got a new team, new coach, new staff, and I'm just excited to get this year going. He's been great. You know, he's different. He demands different things out of me. You know, he's raising the bar. You know, I get one thing done. He's like, all right, here's the next thing I want you to get done. And I appreciate that. You know, he wants the best for me, and I want the best for me ultimately. And I appreciate his drive.
It's great to be out there. A lot of information being thrown at us, but it's fun to be back in the swing of things. Probably just the team camaraderie. You know, a lot of guys were hyped up when we were making good plays, and a lot of guys were positive even when we were making bad plays. So I would say that was the best part of it.
Katie, I jumped the gun a little bit, so let's just jump back to men's ice hockey for a quick second. Let's take a look at this full-screen graphic here. Quinnipiac versus international teams in exhibition games since 2011. As you can see, St. Mary's this year. Last year it was McGill with a 2-1 win. 2 years ago, St. Thomas came to Hamden for the 3-1 win. As you can see all the way back for the past 7 years for the Bobcats. Their first official game of the season, though, is this Friday against Boston College. Quinnipiac women's tennis lost 7-0 to UConn on Wednesday afternoon in a midweek matchup. The Huskies' clean sweep of the Bobcats drops Quinnipiac's record to 0-1 this season. UConn opened the scoring, winning the doubles point, and gained momentum from there. In singles, the Huskies did not drop a single set to the Bobcats in all 6 matches. Quinnipiac is back in action next Sunday on the road against Ryder for its first MAC contest.
The women's cross-country team competed at the Paul Short Women's Run on Friday. The team placed 34th out of 42 teams, finishing with 817 points. Quinnipiac finished 4th amongst MAC teams competing in the race, behind Iona, Marist, and Manhattan. Kaylee Roberts was the best individual finisher for the Bobcats.
The term student athlete is the way it is for a reason. The student part supersedes the athlete. However, with Division I athletes, it can be easy to overlook the student aspect of this person. Quinnipiac women's soccer freshman Isabel Dunning makes that distinction perfectly clear. Her spare time consists of writing. Q30's Matt Halpin sits down with Isabel Dunning in this week's edition of Meet the Bobcats.
Thanks, guys. I'm Matt Halpin here with Meet the Bobcats. I'm sitting here with Isabel Dunning, freshman goalkeeper for the Quinnipiac women's soccer team. Isabel, aside from being a student athlete, also writes books in her spare time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So I started writing when I was in 7th grade, and it kind of just stuck. And it's kind of just been a stress reliever, something outside of academics and sports that I can do, that I can enjoy and look forward to doing.
Your dad played college basketball, and having a parent that was an athlete can sometimes really inspire a young person to go and try to play sports in college. Did you have a moment like that with writing where you were just inspired by something or someone?
Yeah, so my 7th grade English teacher kind of sparked that flame for me. He was always encouraging people to write and submit their work to him for grades and stuff, but it went beyond that. It became something I really enjoyed and something that helped me express kind of what I was thinking at the time, and then throughout the rest of the time it kind of became something I would love to think about, and then get really excited to go home and write and put what I was thinking on the page.
You can find out the rest of that story from Meet the Bobcats on our website at q30tv.com. Katie, it's that time of the show. The top 5 plays of the week are coming at you.
That's right, MJ. Some very nice plays across Bobcat athletics this week. Let's have a look.
Katie, I'll start with number 5, and you follow from there. Number 5 play of the week, Fairfield sloppy with the ball. A turnover here for the Bobcats. Kelsey Goldring with the ball. What's she going to do? Well, she passes to Allie Grunstein. Grunstein takes one step into the box with the left foot, puts that one in. Quinnipiac wins 2-0.
What a great goal. All right, now moving on to number 4, women's soccer versus Monmouth. Monmouth crosses this one in and eventually finds its way back to the Hawks, but Emma Greco comes in clutch with a last-minute save.
Nice save there from a defender, not even the goaltender. We'll stick with this game, women's soccer versus Monmouth. Rochelle Ross, nice touch on the ball, finds the top left 90 of the net. Monmouth wins this one 2-0.
Now number 2, men's ice hockey versus SMU. On the ice, St. Mary takes advantage of the QU turnover with a quick goal against Petrozelli.
Top number 1 play of the week. It's Quinnipiac taking advantage of a turnover here. It's a 2-on-1, Landon Smith and Kevin McKernan. What is Smith going to do? He passes, and McKernan finds the back of the net. Quinnipiac wins this one 3-2.
That is all the time we have for this week on Sports Paws. For more information and to see all of our content, follow us on social media at Q30 Television and at Q30 Sports. Also, check out our website at Q30TV.com.
For our producers who make this show go on, our entire production crew behind the scenes, and my co-host Katie O'Keefe, I'm MJ Baird. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you soon, but not soon enough. Same place, same time next week. So long from Studio 125. Have a great night.